Chapter 5. A heat wave saturated the city that sat on the lake. God turned the oven on 93 degrees and had Cleveland on a cooking sheet absorbing the heat. The inside of Alcon Industry wasn't any better. This was truly a day not to be an iron pourer. The rest of the spot welders, molders, and maintenance men kept reminding the pourers of this. Along with wearing the fireproof outfits, the temperature by the furnace alone was 115 degrees or better. A heat is a furnace filled with melted iron. The iron pourers averaged 5 to 10 heats a day. Each heat had enough melted iron to fill up 13 pots apiece to be manually poured. There were 6 iron pourers that had to pour off 2 pots during a heat, but only 4 of them would work at a time. So that's 4 people on 2 pots while 2 of them took a rest. They would rotate each heat like that for the iron pourers. It was the end of the day, and it felt like the bell would never ring to let the workers off. Rain and the rest of the co-workers just got done pouring off a heat. They were so exhausted that they didn't even have enough strength to remove the fireproof outerwear. They just took off their helmets, removed their sweat-drenched masks, and slumped down in a chair. It was about 15 minutes to 3. 15 minutes until they can take that ball and chain that kept them there when they punched in that morning. "You guys feel like doing another heat?" Foreman Roosevelt asked with a toothless smile. "Hell no's, and you gots to be crazies," came from the small crowd of iron pourers. "I'm just fucking with y'all. It's over. Hit the showers." Those words gave the workers a burst of energy as everyone got up and grabbed their duffel bags to catch a shower before the rest of the plant made it up there. The bell sounded and the workers slowly started to emerge from what the workers dubbed Hell's Kitchen. Rain, like always, was in the last group of guys to come out. 2 guys walking next to him were talking about grabbing a few beers at Jillian's in the flats over a couple of games of pool. Rain thought the part about grabbing a few beers sounded good. He squinted his eyes to the sunlight that seemed to blind him as he came outside. Coming out of the dimly lit foundry, the adjustment was hard on the pupils. Rain turned his cell phone on to check his voicemail. He wanted to see if Tiffany left him a message like she normally did. Over the past few weeks, the two became almost inseparable. The only thing that kept them apart was their occupations. Rain didn't expect for them to last long, but Tiffany proved that theory wrong. She knew that he would not be accepting of her job too long, but she didn't want to lose yet another man because of her late night booty shaking. When she was not at work, she made sure she was in his presence. Even after she got off work, she would go straight over to his house to prove to him that she wasn't moonlighting on the side. Rain found it odd that there wasn't a message on his phone. "You looking for me?" Tiffany was standing off to the side out of his view. "Hey, Ma," he responded. "Hey yourself, Daddy," she said, smiling. Some of Rain's co-workers were looking at Tiffany with lust and envy in their eyes. Lust for the well-stacked chocolate woman and envy because they were jealous of Rain. He saw the deceitful stares and dumped salt in their open wounds. "Come here, girl," he said as he grabbed her by the back of her neck and slid his tongue in her mouth. With his free hand, he grabbed her ass and squeezed it with meaning. Tiffany moaned, enjoying the act with her man. "Y'all need to get a room." Jennifer was sitting in the passenger seat of Jimmy's Alero, hugged up with her man. "Why do that when we could just go to my house?" Rain stated. Yeah, whatever. Look, we going down to the lake for a few hours. Y'all coming or what?" "I don't know, baby. What you think?" Rain turned and asked Tiffany. "Hell yeah, it's crazy hot out here. A dip in the water would be exactly what we need. Come on," she said, grabbing Rain by the hand and pulling him towards his truck. "We'll meet you guys down there, okay?" yelled Tiffany. "Rain, you want to drink a few beers?" Jimmy asked. "I'm feeling that," Rain responded. Jimmy shook his head and got in his ride and pulled off. Rain and Tiffany met Jennifer, Jimmy, Big Baby, and Joy at Edgewater about 20 minutes later. Jennifer and Joy were already in the water. Tiffany had on a peach and yellow 2-piece bikini with some low-cut shorts exposing the strings tied on her hips. Tiffany and Rain walked barefoot on the hot sand to where Big Baby and Jimmy were sitting on lawn chairs. Rain took the empty seat as he watched Tiffany squirm out of her tight shorts. She jogged off to her friends waiting in the water. Rain looked on as Tiffany's booty jiggled with each step she took. "I know you have got to be one satisfied man with all that wagon she's dragging," Jimmy stated, handing Rain an extra-large McDonald cup filled with beer. "You could say she keeps me occupied," said Rain with a smile. "Not to be all in your business, but I thought you didn't do the stripper scene." Rain took a sip of the alcoholic beverage as he let Jimmy's remarks sink in. "I know, man, I know. Seeing her is totally against my morals, you know. But I will be honest with you, fam, I'm feeling her. Besides, she hasn't given me a reason not to trust her. If we're not at work, then we're always together. She even comes straight over to the house from work. Not that I'm looking, but she hasn't given me a reason not to trust her," Rain stated, taking another sip of the beverage that seemed to cool his insides. "I've known Tiffany for a long time, and I've never seen her like this over no dude before. Usually, she'd be after a dude's bank. She never was the type to settle down, and what makes it official is that she knows what you do for a living and she hasn't left you, when in the past, she never would have given cats like us the time of day," said Big Baby, refilling his cup with beer. "You got that right," Jimmy added. Rain let Big Baby's statement sink in. It also took him by surprise because it appeared Big Baby seemed to care. It was like he was trying to inform Rain, almost telling him he should be grateful. "Well, I have that effect on women," Rain said with a smirk. "Whatever," Big Baby responded. He really didn't give a fuck if Tiffany cheated on Rain or not. He couldn't believe he told Rain what he told him. He cursed himself and blamed it on the most nice. If he could have it his way, he'd rather see Ike and Tiffany together. He knew how Tiffany felt about Rain, therefore his wish would never be a reality. The girls walked up on them with buckets filled with water and devious smiles on their faces. "Don't even think about it," said Jimmy, putting his beer down. Against his wishes, the girls threw the buckets of water on their men at the same time and took off running. Big Baby, Jimmy, and Rain looked at themselves, then at each other. They jumped up and chased the girls into the water. Rain caught up with Tiffany and slammed her into Lake Erie. Once she became free, she swam out farther. Rain would not let her get away as he gave chase. Once he caught up, Tiffany disappeared up underwater. While under, she went straight for a zipper. She quickly freed his Johnson and slipped it in her mouth. Rain became instantly rock hard. Tiffany came up from under the water and wrapped her legs around Rain. She pulled her bikini to the side and slipped her man inside her pink sugar walls. If you weren't the wiser, you would have never known what they were doing. Her girl Jennifer knew. She stood with Jimmy on the sand looking, not believing what they were seeing. "Y'all some freaks," yelled Jennifer. Tiffany kept riding her man while throwing up her middle finger. Rain and Tiffany were in his truck on the way to his house. Both were feeling good from the tension they relieved in Lake Erie. "So, what are we doing tonight, Rain?" Tiffany asked. "I don't know," replied Rain. "To tell you the truth, we had a very rough day at work. All I really want to do is eat, take a bath, and smoke a few burners." Tiffany was disappointed because she felt like going out. Then again, if she was to go out, she wanted it to be with Rain. There was an awkward silence and Rain knew that he had upset his girl. "You're not mad, are you, Ma?" "No, I guess not. If you're too tired to step out, then I understand," said Tiffany, lying. "That heavy lifting, this heat, then me and you in the water left me with not much of anything. But if you want to go out by yourself or with your friends, then I don't mind at all." "Nah, I'm cool. We could just sit up and watch some cable after I make you something to eat." The thought of food alone had Rain's stomach talking to him. "Now that sounds like a plan. Listen, Tiff, how about we just go out this weekend?" he asked. "Baby, you know I work weekends," Tiffany replied in a disappointed tone. "But don't worry about it, though. I'll just have to catch you on one of those days when you're not so tired." The whole going out subject was bothering her. She didn't want to talk about it any longer, so to avoid conversation, she picked up the remote and cut the radio on. Rain felt the avoidance, but didn't want to keep pressing the issue, so he just listened to the local station and kept driving. Tiffany really liked Rain, but she felt as though he was boring. He was deadbeat tired mostly, and she was vigorous and ready to paint the town. She was used to thugs and dope boys whose life was the streets. She knew what Rain did before his job became a factor. It was plenty of days she wished Rain would just relapse and go back to what he once did to make ends meet. Before Rain, Tiffany was moving way too fast for her good. She wanted to live the fast life and everything that came with it. The men she chose ran over her and degraded her. Her need for the glamorous life had her blind to that fact. Rain was nothing like these men she dealt with in the past. To her, Rain had a thug's edge, but when it all boiled down, he was sweet, caring, compassionate, and understanding. 9 times out of 10, a thug didn't have those traits. Tiffany knew she had a good man in Rain, but it was up to her to keep him. But the money was calling her like crack calling a relapsing crackhead. They drove back to Rain's house in silence. Both were in their own train of thoughts. The trace of solitude was interrupted once they pulled up in the driveway. "I'm going to turn our alarm off. Grab the bags for me while I get the dough." Rain got out of the truck and walked up to his house. Once he cut off the alarm, he went to help Tiffany with his requested task. The both of them walked up on the porch when AJ appeared out of nowhere. "What's really hood?" Rain turned around to see AJ coming through the gate. "What's up with it, fam?" asked Rain. "Shit, you know me. I'm gonna make it do what it do," AJ responded, walking up on the porch. "Oh shit, I know that ain't Hershey." AJ knew it was Tiffany from the shape and the size of her ass alone. He didn't even have to see her face to know it was her. Tiffany turned around to see who was calling her by her stage name. "Hey, AJ," Tiffany beamed, dropping her bags to hug AJ. Rain stood there feeling very uncomfortable looking at their display of affection toward one another. Though AJ was his best friend and Tiffany was his girl, there was something intimate in their embrace and he didn't like it one bit. Rain interrupted, breaking up their reunion. "So I don't have to ask you if you guys know each other." Tiffany and AJ released their embrace. "Hershey told me she had a man now. I ain't know it was you," AJ said with a half smirk on his face. Rain didn't like that look at all. He knew AJ well, and there was something in that smirk that didn't sit well with him. AJ saw the look of insecurity on his friend's face. "Yeah, man, I be going to Tremend's. That's how we know each other." In the past, Rain wouldn't allow anything to get to him, but this unexpected reunion was bothering him. AJ seen his anger and knew Rain was trying to hide it. He noticed Rain clench his teeth and flex his jawbone muscles. He just took the bags and walked inside. "Nah, man, I know you ain't tripping, are you?" AJ asked, following Rain in the house. Rain took a deep breath to calm himself before answering. "Tripping? On what? I can't be mad because y'all know each other," said Rain, sitting down his bags and removing his shoes. The reality of it was pissing him off. He was already going against the grain by establishing a relationship with a stripper. In doing so, it seemed it was coming back to bite him in the ass. Now he's watching something unfold before his eyes, and the fact of not knowing what it was driving him crazy. "Good, it's nothing," AJ responded while taking off his shoes at the door. Rain knew it was a lie because Tiffany couldn't make eye contact with him and now AJ. "Baby, I'm about to jump in the shower and start dinner. Are you eating with us, AJ?" Tiffany asked. AJ saw the look on his friend's face and decided not to overstep his boundaries. "Nah, I'm cool. I just stopped by to smoke a blunt with my boy." "So what do you want to eat?" Tiffany asked. "It doesn't even matter," said Rain, giving her one of those looks that said you fucked up. Tiffany met his gaze and broke it off by walking away. "So what's up, man? I'm feeling good right about now. How's about a few rounds on that PlayStation?" AJ asked. Rain was pissed off and he didn't want his boy to see him out of his hookup like this, so he agreed. He surrendered, hoping to take his mind off the present situation. "I don't know about losing my money, but I'm ready to play," Rain responded, already making his way up the steps. It started by Rain losing the first few games. It ended with him winning $80 at $10 a game. AJ knew it upset his friend because Rain would usually talk trash, but he said nothing today. He was focused, beating his friend by margins neither one of them seen or performed themselves. After smoking a few blunts while playing the game, AJ decided he lost enough pocket change and called it quits. Tiffany walked in the room. "Baby, dinner is ready," she said and disappeared. Before she left, she made eye contact with AJ in a way that wasn't suitable to Rain. AJ caught her stare, then looked over at Rain. When he saw Rain following his eyes, he decided it was time to get out the way. "Well, fam, I'm in the streets. I got some action lined up for the night." For the first time, Rain looked at his friend's outfit. He had on some new flooded ice pieces with some brand new gear. AJ is coming up, Rain thought. "I brought a new whip. Maybe we can bend a few corners," AJ suggested as he rose to his feet. "I don't know, fam. I'm tired as hell. Look, I'll call you later and let you know." Rain walked AJ downstairs, still simmering in his own anger. "Well, let me know if you change your mind," said AJ, putting on his Timberlands. "No doubt, fam," Rain replied as AJ walked out the door. Rain closed the door and looked on as he watched him get into a brand new Lincoln LS sedan. "That cat coming up," said Rain under his breath. "Who's coming up, AJ?" Tiffany asked. Rain hurried up and shut the curtains. "Nobody," he responded, a bit embarrassed at the fact his girl called him jocking AJ. "Well, you can come and eat whenever you're ready," she said as she watched him walk out the room. Tiffany gave a small chuckle because she knew Rain was talking about AJ. At the dinner table, there was light to little conversation between the two. Tiffany thought about telling her man about her past and sometimes reoccurring affairs. She thought better of it once she let the idea about coming clean run through her mind. Rain would leave so fast, she said to herself, especially when he found out it was AJ that she crept around with. Well, creep around was an understatement. Regardless, she felt as though she was a changed woman, and bringing up her past would only end the future she was trying to build with Rain. The realization was that she shouldn't have messed around with two friends. Even though she just found out they were friends, she still should have told Rain about her sexual relationship with AJ up front. Not coming clean now would create problems. Her heart skipped a beat when she visualized herself telling him, and she almost choked on her food. "You alright?" he asked. "Yeah, I'm good. My food just went down wrong, that's all," she said, taking a sip of her beverage. "Babe, what's wrong? You don't seem like yourself since we've been home," she asked. "I'm good, Ma. I just need to get some rest, that's all." "Are you sure?" "I'm positive. Now eat. And if you choke on your food, I'll give you mouth to mouth," he said, smiling, trying to ease the tension that accumulated in the room. Rain was no fool, though, and far from being one. He knew that something was up. He saw it when they couldn't make eye contact with one another. Besides, Rain was from the streets and had his fair share of women. He knew firsthand that if two people were involved in the past, their body language towards one another would expose it. He was lonely, and deep down inside, he wanted to work it out between them. Though this was true, had he known her past, he would have never taken it as far as he did. But that was the good thing, though. She didn't know about his past, and he didn't know about hers. It was all about new beginnings and growth. That's exactly what he was trying to establish with Tiffany. He really didn't want to know the gory details of her past. He already made a mistake by talking to a stripper to begin with. Most dancers had something in their past that incriminated them. Whatever Tiffany's was wouldn't be exposed because he would see that it didn't. Their relationship started the first night they went out. Anything in his or her past would be left exactly there, the past. Rain knew he would do nothing crazy. Just as long as Tiffany did the same, then their relationship would stand the test of time. Rain was smoking a blunt, watching TV in the bed when Tiffany walked in the room wearing his LeBron James Olympic jersey. "Okay, baby, the dishes are clean. We both had a shower. Now it's time for us to just relax. What's on TV?" she asked, crawling in the bed. "Well, Scarface is on. I was thinking about watching that if you're up for it," he suggested, taking the pull off the blunt. "It doesn't matter what you watch." She took the blunt from Rain and took a few puffs, then passed it back. She got under the covers between his legs and pulled his Johnson out and did what she knew best. What more can a man ask for? Tony Montana, hydro, and some bomb-ass head.
This is Black Cartel, bitch, so why would you trip? On them trees that we smoking, no sixes to sit. Black attire be my threads. Straight ball fade, no dreads. Fuck the police, cause on my payroll it's the motherfucking feds. My niggas is like troopers, they got mad skills for real. Born with text in hand, similar to Navy SEAL scopes, infrared text, and bulletproof vests. Sometimes I feel like I'm Superman without the S on my chest. Understand this, fucking with me, mad phone calls is being made. So be on your way to the cemetery, cause your eternal bed is made. Wanted to show your ass, just could not leave me alone. Well, I'ma show you, nigga, why they call me Charles C. Capone. Fuck the crib, don't go to your house. I got my nigga scoping. You fucked up when you left your boy behind, now you left wide open. Fuck catching the case, I'm like Cochran. It's wide up in coat, and ain't no leaving the city, cause my people's in lax at the airport. You got a price on your head, remember? Brave is being dug, and the only way you can pay is to take about 8 of these slugs. See, frontin' ain't healthy, won't put money in your pockets. You should've listened to that bitch when she said, baby, come on, stop it. So holla at your peoples, tell them I ain't trying to hear confrontation. You let them know if you ain't run your mouth, you wouldn't be stuck with the situation. Say your prayers is about to end, we gon' leave it on that note. It's time to pay Charles Capone, cash that check your mouth wrote, bitch.